I'm not planting political flags, and I think we're a little bit past political discourse. What happened yesterday is Charlie Kirk was murdered by a coward who didn't like what he believed and what he thought and what he stood for and what he spoke for. And that coward took his life and ran away because he couldn't debate and speak to a man who thought differently than he did. And not only is today 9/11, today our country mourns the loss of one of our great ones, because Charlie Kirk was the last person who wanted to have dialogue with people who were diametrically opposed to his worldview. He was a voice, and his voice was silenced because of how loudly he spoke. And I sat here yesterday and I watched half of our country fall into mourning over and grief over what had occurred, because their voice was silenced as well. And what I mean by that is Charlie spoke words from a place that most of us do not have the vocabulary and the courage to communicate, especially on a public forum. And he took those words and tried to use those to influence the youth of the nation, to teach them things that nobody had taught them yet, to bring them into a point of view that they have never considered. And he was gunned down for that. And I'm deeply hurt. I'm deeply hurt at what happened. I'm deeply hurt because his mission was to save babies, to prevent their termination, and he was successful in that. And there are people walking this earth today because of Charlie Kirk and his efforts and his work. And somebody took that from him, and they took those lives from those future babies. People have lost in ways we don't yet understand because of the death of Charlie. And I'm absolutely horrified at the online response, because people are celebrating today. They're celebrating the death of this man because they didn't like what he had to say and they didn't agree with him. And that is the most disgusting display of human emotion I have ever seen in my 40 years of walking this earth. I pray for the family of Charlie and for all of us to find some way to unify.